Welcome to another episode of
I want to say also that this is the 20th episode, and
Wow.
according to Apple Podcast, that means that we're among the top 1% of podcasts with most episodes. So you
Yeah,
only need 20 episodes to be in the top 1%, which for me sounds crazy, but
that
we
is
do now.
crazy. I feel like that just shows how many people start something and stop. Oh, that's Martin. Way on. I'm coming to work today, right? And I was really tired. I was really tired this morning. And this actually flows so good into what we're about to talk about. And I'm feeling I feel like really run down with all the things that I'm trying to do you know, and like I'm starting to just like, when you're like, you've been doing something for a couple months or whatever, and
Yeah,
you're not seeing the results yet, or you're not seeing it
yeah,
where you want it to be, and you're feeling like you're putting in work, and you just like start tapering off. You're just like, oh, and
yeah.
that's where I feel like I'm at the moment with a lot of things, especially with work, um, and even with this document. So, to give everyone else context, essentially, I work for the family practice, right? Family business. And we sell insurance and help people with superannuation and all that kind of stuff. And what we've created is we created a kind of like a big a program in Excel, which really shouldn't be in Excel, but we haven't had the manpower, the capacity, or resources to switch it, nor the revenue generating activity, which would, or in some people's mind, the revenue generating activity which would, I guess, warrant a switch to a more expensive and probably more tailor-made program. Now, me and Martin have been talking about this. Martin is a software engineer by trade. Is that
By what,
right?
sorry?
Software engineer
Software engineer by what?
by trade, like by occupation.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yes.
probably an Aussie way of saying that.
How do you spell
um,
that?
Trade, Trade.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'm a software engineer. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Martina think about talking about this. But it's good though, because as soon as we started this podcast, oh man, I'm feeling like it's so much work doing this for me because I'm already learning and doing so many other things. So I'm
What are you
feeling really
learning?
dumb. I'm feeling really demotivated with it, to be quite honest. Um, and I probably want to talk about that anyways. But yeah, so what am I learning? I'm learning. Essentially, I'm studying as well because I've not. So what I did before this, like I did a commerce degree. And a commerce degree teaches you, it's kind of like how to make the product if we're going to think of finance as a product. So, for example, like, um, think about I don't know, think about like trades, right? What a fund manager will do is they will research stocks for you, and they will compile and make a portfolio that a regular customer will be like, hey, I like that portfolio. I'm going to buy his services and then give him my money, which he can then make money for me. Does that kind of make sense? Like I
Yeah.
buy that product that he made, you
Yeah.
know? Whereas as a financial planner, we recommend which products, right? Because there's so many. And, often in the investment making decisions, you often have two risks, two really big risks. So the first risk is like trading risks, like timing the market, knowing the markets, all that kind of stuff, which a lot of people like pretty much recognize they can't do because it's nearly impossible, right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, I'll step back. But another risk is literally just making a decision: who should I give my money to do this for me? Because a lot of other people will fail as well. So that's actually a risk that you make. That's another decision making risk that you have.
Right.
A lot of people don't recognize that risk. They think, oh, I'm just going to give it to this expert and they'll be fine. But essentially,
Yeah.
what we do is we compare between the experts for someone. We're like, okay, this person's fund, this person's fund, this person's fund. This is all rubbish.
So you're like the
And you don't
middleman
do it.
for the middleman?
Correct.
Okay.
But we do this for superannuation. We do it for, so like, yeah, we help people with their super, and like a lot of people got no idea, but in Australia, everyone legally needs superannuation. So yeah, it's fun. Like a lot of people just have it in the most obscure investments. Like you're like, this is not good for you. And then also we help them with their insurance, comparing their insurance. Now, we try and make that as efficient as possible and as easy as possible. But one limiting factor is the efficiency of this Excel, because that's where we, model our recommendations and communicate that to clients in a very client friendly way. But yeah, essentially, like, it needs improving. It needs improving. And it needs to go to the cloud. It's like let's get it up. Actually, I'll share my screen.
So Charlie, what is making you, what is blocking you? What is making you have like a fussy vision of this?
What do you mean? Oh, like demotivated? Like,
Yeah, yeah. What's going on there?
um, I just think I have like way too much. I love like doing lots of projects, and I have a lots of motivation, right? But I tend to like do too many things and then not be as good as what I can be in most of them. Um, or maybe I think I just get a little bit overwhelmed, and maybe I like lack vision, or I forget where I want to go with things. Instead of me diagnosing myself, maybe I'll just talk and then we can diagnose together later. Maybe that's a smarter thing to do. So I guess where do I start? So what am
How
I
many
doing
things?
now?
You keep saying you're studying too many things and doing so many projects, but I only know about this one. What other things do you have in your life currently?
Okay, so let's do work, the work bubble.
Yeah.
So with work, so technically I'm studying. I'm only doing one subject this semester. I did two last semester. Two is crazy. One I think is better. Um, so I do that every morning. I should do that every morning before work for about 45 minutes. Then I've got my job. My job, what I do is I do the administration for what we offer. So, for example, let's say if we have to make a recommendation, we have to make administrative documents for that recommendation. I make those documents. And I mean, like, it's a pretty intense workplace as just having that, because there's just a lot of that to do. I mean, I don't. How do I just like? Yeah, so we do that, and then it goes on to like implementation as well. So like, I have to create all the documents for implementation, make sure all the forms are signed, make sure all the money's going to the right places. So like, I'd be personally responsible. Well, not personally. Like the business at the end is liable, but I'm kind of responsible. Let's say if we've got a client with $2 million, and they're like, invest it. I make sure that it gets invested in the right places and that we implement it according to the advice,
Yeah.
which can be complex. Like, yeah, yeah. There's a bit to that. But that's my regular job. That is enough for the job that I do. But then I'm trying to train and like upskill the staff overseas, because we have overseas staff that help us with the implementation of forms and basic administration. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create more efficient processes by which they can be trained, and a lot
Yeah.
of that is like technology based. So we use a platform called Scribe, and I'm just trying to implement that. Well, we don't use it. Basically, I've adopted it. I'm like, hey guys, let's use this. So I'm championing that change. Which, yeah. It's going, but it's not there yet. I mean, that's a wild project, so I'm fine with that. Um, and then I'm overseeing the development of this thing, which but these two last things, these are like outside of the scope of my regular job. These are just extra things, you
Right,
know. So that my regular job is enough for the 9 to 5. This is more.
right. And do you also have one subject on uni, right?
Mm,
You also
correct.
work out?
Yeah. So
What?
really, roughly work is probably like 7:30 in the morning. That's how I see it because I see study as work at the moment. 7:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night. That's every
Okay.
weekday, and
And
then
what time do you go to bed?
9 o'clock or nine
And
thirty.
what do you do between 6:30 and 9?
6:30, 7:30 gym. 7:30, 8 ride home. 8:30 eat dinner. 8:30
Right,
chill for half an hour. Go to bed. Read a book,
right.
and then sleep at probably 9:30.
And what time do you wake up?
6.
So, and what do you do between 6 and 7:30?
I ride to. So I get ready, ride to
Right,
work. So 6. I probably leave the house at 6:30. I ride to work. I'm 7:15. 7:15. I meditate for 15 minutes. 7:30. Ready to go.
okay. So you basically what you're saying is that you don't have any extra time, all that, like, are you wasting any time?
No.
Being honest.
The
No?
only time I waste is procrastinating, but I
Yeah,
don't really
that's
do
what I
that.
mean.
Like,
That's what I
or
mean.
let's say like one week I don't go gym. Like,
No, no, yeah, that okay. No, but I mean, do you spend a lot of time on Instagram or Netflix or YouTube
no.
or okay. So, and I between 7:30 and 6:30, so like the work period, work, study, all of that.
Yeah.
Do you stop at any time, or are you like
Yeah.
just working, 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 working?
Yeah, no, I do. We take an hour break at lunch. We
Yeah.
go for half an hour walk, and then I take half an hour to eat. Back to work. I might go to the toilet 3 times a day. Sometimes
Yeah, I'm not talking about that, but that's okay.
no, but it's true. Like they're my breaks. Like four times a day or like 3 times a day. I'll leave my desk. Like, no, I've done a task. I need to go toilet. I leave. I go toilet. I'm like, what's next? Okay, bang into it. Like that's
Okay, but if I don't get it, I mean, what else can you do if you're? I don't think it's a problem of motivation. If you're non-stop working, and I think it's just like you don't have time. Like
hmm.
either you don't
No.
have
This is
time,
like this is
or
now
or you
like
need to
what I'm
be
saying
more
is
productive, like more efficient.
I'm starting to fizzle out with the motivation. Like that's been my normal for a while, and now I'm like, hmm,
What's happening now? That's what I'm trying to understand.
yeah.
What
Now
of
I'm
that
just like,
routine
this
that you
is
just said is changing?
what actually. So I haven't the last 2 nights. I haven't worked till even actually the last week. I haven't really worked that late. I work till like 5, but that's because I've got other commitments. Like that's it. Like I had a doctor's appointment on Monday, and then last night it was the 1 year anniversary of my grandfather passing away. So we went to his grave. Um, but both those nights I didn't do the work that I wanted to do. Um, in the morning I've missed my study periods, so like I'm very behind on study. Um, but that's because I've just started work or I've just done work or something like that. Um,
Instead.
instead,
So
so I've
again,
done something. Yeah, I've done something with my time. It's not like I've done nothing. Yeah.
yeah, I keep thinking that you either need more time or be more efficient, but maybe you don't feel as motivated. But if you're still using all your time in working or studying or doing what you need to do, you maybe you need to go home, you need to go to the doctor, you need to go to the anniversary of your grandfather. Those are things you probably cannot move. And then all the other time that you don't you are not doing those things, you are working or studying,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you feel motivated or not. If you're actually working all that time, then the problem is not the motivation. The problem is you have more time, you need more time, or you need to be more efficient. Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
either you feel more motivated or less. I think different would it be if you did have the time, you did feel like you're wasting time, and you know you're wasting time, and you know there's something you should do that you're not doing. I think that's where motivation and discipline play a big role. But if you
There's
don't
nothing
have the
more I can really
time,
do.
like
Mm.
you have to like put things away, maybe choose what you want to do. I don't know.
You've told me something. I think I'm actually doing really well. It's just I think my expectations of how much I can do are too high, and that's always been an issue for me. That's been an issue since day dot. Like, just yeah, I just can't. I literally just can't, even if I
People
try.
always overestimate what they can do in one day, but they underestimate what they can do in a year.
Hmm.
No, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't think that's there's something like that around the internet, like
No, I
or
think it's yeah. I think it's they overestimate what they can do in a year, but they
they
underestimate what they can do
underestimate.
in 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But but it's the same concept. Like
Yeah. Exactly.
if you plan correctly, and you don't wanna like and you don't like get overwhelmed from what you need to do in the short period, then you will accomplish a lot in the
Great
long period.
things. Right. Yeah. Okay. So what we're establishing is that I'm doing well. I'm actually doing great in terms of motivation. It's just I just need
I
to
didn't
know
say you were
what
doing
I'm
great
gonna.
in terms of motivation. Maybe you don't feel demotivated, and that's okay. But I don't think that's the key factor resulting in you not accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Because even you feeling demotivated, you don't have the time to do what you need to do. So
Hmm,
you're
all
still
right.
using all your time, all the time you have available. You're still using it. Either you feel motivated or not. Maybe
Mm,
maybe you push some things away, and now you have some free time for that things that you want to accomplish, and that's when motivation and discipline actually will kick in, and you will see if you can actually get the results you want or not. uh,
okay. So what we're
until
saying
then,
is, okay, if I want to do more, I have to become more efficient,
or
have more time. But that's not an option because there's
no,
no
no,
more of that.
or choose, man, or choose. Maybe prioritize. That's important in every aspect of life.
Fucking hate that word.
Why?
Prioritize, mate. It just means oh, prioritize. Like I like it and I agree with it and I do prioritize actually. Like I do. But again, when there's so many good opportunities, it's just it sucks, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same, and I always try to do everything. I always try to like fit it in my schedule and do everything or the most I can. And I think that's the right attitude. Uh, because it actually makes you find a way to do more things than you thought you could. But at the same time, there's a limit to that.
Yes, I agree. And now I'm thinking kind of smart. Thinking
So, for
uh,
example, since like June, I was working in a project like a kind of a startup project uh, with a friend, but we left it. We left it like 2 or 3 months ago because we had like different visions for it. But I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna continue anyway.
yeah,
But the thing is, I also 2 months ago started with doing a course for like sailing. So I've been learning how to
sail
sail
status.
and
Oh,
no sailing,
sailing.
like
Oh
sailing,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
boats. So I've
Sailing.
So the thing is, I've had to study a lot for that. I've been doing also like practical, like I've had to go on boats and actually sail. Um, so I haven't had much time to keep with the project I was working on beforehand. So when I joined the course for sailing, I said, okay, I'll stop the course. Sorry, I'll stop the project and I'll continue it once I'm finished with the sailing course.
Yeah.
Because I maybe I could do everything at the same time, but I also wanted to focus on sailing and I want to learn it properly and to practice it properly. Uh, and then once I'm finished, I can go back to the project and I can actually work focused on that and have all my mind focused to that and do it properly and with the energy and time it requires and deserves. I think that's also important. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's not that you can't do everything at the same time. It's just that you're probably gonna do it better if you do once at a time,
Yeah.
or maybe not one, but not too many at the time.
No, I agree. I agree. Okay. So what we're saying, yeah, it's going to be more planned. I will do that. That's not hard. Usually on like a Sunday or something, I'll take out some time and I'll look at my goals and then I'll reassess. Um,
Yeah, that's important.
yeah.
I also try to do that on Sundays. I try to plan the week.
Yeah.
Even if then the week doesn't go as I planned, at least it gives me like a guideline of things I want to accomplish that week and when is the best to when is the best I thought it would be to accomplish that or but I can like play around the week. But I think it's important to plan. It gives you it's better than having nothing. At least like worst case you just follow the plan and you're good.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. Look, essentially, like, okay, what I'm now thinking, I'm reprioritizing with you. This Excel is now a lower priority because um, this won't free up my time. This will just create more work. Um, what will free up time, and one thing I'm doing is training the overseas staff and implementing the training procedures. Do you want me to show you something? Do you want me to show you Scribe?
Okay.
So, tech update with Xav, right? There's this platform called Scribe, and what you can do is you can record, like record your screen almost. It's pretty simple. So, let's say I'm gonna share my screen. Yalla, let's go. Okay, let's just do screen one then. Can you see that?
No. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
So
Wait.
let's go.
It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. Okay, I can now.
Boom.
What are we seeing?
Okay, so
Somna temple.
this is the temple.
Which
Let's
temple?
say so we have some people that work overseas.
Yeah.
And they recently had Diwali. It's a festival in India.
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Not
know it. I know it because of The Office. Have you seen that episode?
No, I haven't. What?
The Office episode of Diwali, no?
No. Well, I don't know.
Oh,
Anyways,
you're
Diwali looked epic. So that like she was just showing me all her like the temple and like what they were celebrating. I was like, yeah, this is sick.
you have to watch the sixth episode of the third season. That's the Diwali
Really,
episode.
Diwali.
I'll send it
I
to you
like The
later.
Office is so good, man. The Office is so good. Um,
Anyway, keep going.
okay. So essentially, what you do is you create your own manuals. What's something we can do now that I can show everyone else how to do? Let's say, okay. What we do is we collect data online, and we generally collect it from the Australian government portal. So let's say I'm gonna.
Why the fuck do you use Microsoft Bing and Microsoft Edge?
I use Edge.
You're a weirdo.
Wait, what do you use? Chrome, Google Chrome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we used to use I used to use Chrome, but with Edge you can actually create organizational policies, so it improves the security of the password, like
Right.
password saving and all that kind of stuff.
I
As a
just
business.
hate Microsoft.
No, I like Microsoft. Bing is pretty shit, but don't worry. Um, who cares? Anyways, so what I'd do is I'd start recording.
Yeah.
It's now capturing my browser. And let's say we go to pension. Yep. And then let's go to Money Smart. No. Who can get the Services Australia? Bang. So you go down. You want to check out the income test. Da da da. So this is the income. I can even like click that, whatever. And then you want to see the assets test. Where's the assets test? Bloody hell.
Does it matter?
Let's do this. No, it doesn't. Anyways, okay, that's it. Apparently, that's our whole process to get that, which that's a pretty basic process. So now it'll like create this manual, how to calculate income, age, pension, entitlements in Australia. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
It'll give you the link. It'll teach you like how to type it, but like, look, we don't need to know to click there, so we're just gonna delete that step. Yep. See you later. Type pension entitlements. Yeah, happy with that. Who can get the age pension? Click this link. Click income assets test, and then that's it.
That's a pretty good software. Is it
It's
free?
awesome. Yep, it's free.
Okay, good to
Oh,
know.
the online version's free. So what I do is I do that, done, and then I'll upload this scribe. And then now, that is now the process. It roughly takes about 33 seconds. There's about 6 steps to this process, but that's what you need to know, right? Just follow those steps. And that's like, I want to use this to help teach and train everyone, because currently, like, it's in everyone's minds. Like, I know the process, and then I teach someone else. And then
Yeah.
when they get taught, then they write it down on a notepad. But how good are their
Yeah.
notes? This is
Yeah.
just better notes, and it's easier to teach, and you kind of have to do it once. But let's say this process changes. Let's say this updates, you know,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to change. Like, all I need to do is just, I can do this. I can recapture, start capture again. I go back, wherever it is, and then I'm saying, okay, that's it, whatever. That's the new, let's do it properly. If I go back one, and imagine this was all updated, then I'm like, okay, that's the new one. And then I just stop capture again. Yep. No. I did that wrong. Okay. Anyways.
I understand. I understand. Don't worry.
Do you understand
So
it? It's pretty easy.
yeah. Okay. One question to move on, but what's the difference? I understand that this automatically captures like images and generates like the everything with AI.
Yep.
But what's the difference between doing this and having like a shared document with all the steps?
I think it takes more time to create those shared documents with all the steps. It's harder to edit, so you need to remake it, kind of thing. Um,
Do you?
and I just don't think it's as visually easy.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I
that's
agree with that. I agree with that.
one of the issues and hurdles that I come with teaching and training is communication. It's me telling you, or you understanding what I'm saying. And I think this just makes it
Yeah,
really easy to understand. So it's
yeah,
easier
I
to
agree.
teach.
Okay, let's go back then. So you want to basically just automate or leave this. What happened? Uh,
What?
so you sorry, you want to leave this in a shared space so you don't need to train people anymore. Is that correct?
Well, what I'm going to do is
So you can have more time.
so I'm going to make the starting ones, and then I'm going to
You can
teach
stop
the other
sharing.
people how to use Scribe. Stop sharing. Yeah. So I'm going to teach the the overseas team how to use Scribe, so that once I'm done with it, or
Yeah,
like once I've taught, then if anything changes, they can update it. Slash, we can
themselves.
increase
Yeah,
the efficiency of the business. So it becomes
yeah.
easier for people that aren't really good at teaching to teach as well.
How
Because
much people
currently,
does it work at the company?
we have 10 people, 12,
Okay.
12. But, in the administration kind of side of things, we probably have 6 people. Um, and often we'll find is that people start doing different processes very quickly. They'll come up with their own things and then not share. you know
Yeah,
and then what that leads to is two things. It leads to inefficiency, because if two people are doing two different things, then it's like sometimes they struggle to communicate what they're doing to each other, which is
yeah,
just inefficient. And two, it just leads to, like, we're not doing the best practice as a whole. Someone's doing better than someone else, but we want the
yeah.
whole business to rise at the same time. you know so trying to trying to like ease that platform of communication, and yeah, so really
How much
teaching
time
everyone how
do
to use this. Yeah.
how much time do you reckon that will for you, like daily or weekly?
Oh, it depends. It so depends how well this goes. um well,
But more
currently,
more or less.
I think it will just really upskill people quickly. And if it upskills people quickly, like, a lot of my
Yeah,
jobs can be taken off my plate. Lots. Like, I could save 2 to 3 hours a day
right.
pretty easily. um yeah. Yep.
That's a lot, man. That's like 15 hours a week. You
Yep.
can do a lot
I
with that.
know. I know. It's pretty good.
Do you think that would be enough for you to accomplish everything else you also have in mind at a reasonable pace?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, I think so.
Or do you think you would also need to free more time?
I would need a free more time. Oh,
When do you finish
look. Okay,
university?
let's be more. What's it called? Not underestimate. What's that called? Undervalue. Let's not overestimate how
Yeah,
well the scribe thing goes. Right. Let's
yeah,
be conservative. That's it. Let's say it
yeah,
only takes an hour of my day,
right.
like, because that's a more conservative estimate. And then, um, I've probably
Let's
got
play it
that.
safe,
That
yeah.
would be good, but I probably need more. And the only way that I get more is by moving up in terms of skills and training myself, as opposed to creating systems and processes. So that's someone else starting to take my role, which is different.
But you also having to take another one.
Well, no, so like yeah, so like like usually the way that you stop doing your job is your manager comes to you and like, hey, you got a promotion. That's usually how it goes in the business world. But like, I'm trying to do it a little bit different. I'm trying to literally train, like, efficiency myself out of it. After this scribe thing, I don't really see another way where I can efficiency myself by way out of it. Um,
Are there
I
any
mean,
things from your workflows that can be automated?
it's a great question. Yes, actually, you're right. I feel like we can use, like, I don't know if it's Power Automate or Power BI. It's something I want to look into. Where, like, let's
I don't
say,
think it's Power BI.
yeah, I think it's Power Automate potentially. It's like, I feel like it's like Zapier from what I know, and where, like, let's say if you do this action, then this
Yeah.
this happens. This gets triggered. So, like,
Bro,
often we'll.
you need to learn programming.
Yeah, I know, I know. Um, Tell me, what are your thoughts? What are your.
So Zapier and all these kind of tools that allows you to automate things without code
Yeah,
are amazing actually, because they even for people who code make implementations so easy.
yeah,
But if you know how to code, you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
And like I cannot help you unless we start talking details. But if you knew like basics of programming, you can probably automate a lot of things, like lots of things. So yeah, I think that's a skill everyone should learn. But maybe it's everyone say that about their jobs. Engineers think everyone needs to learn math. Uh, well, I do think that software engineers think that everyone should learn how to code. Um like literature teachers think everyone should read. Everyone should read. Like everyone thinks everyone should do what they do. That's
Yeah.
a
The
like
thing
that's a
is, yeah,
funny
it's the
thing about
time constraint
people.
because I want to learn how to code. Like I really do, but it's that time constraint which is my issue.
Okay, okay. Again, how many years do you have left in college?
One. The next year is the last year.
Next year is last year.
I finish in August
In August you finish. Okay, so
or November, and then I come to Chile.
so are you doing two topics or one topic?
Doing one this semester. So this
Yeah,
semester, really, uni should be done, but I'm taking an extra subject.
yeah.
Um, and then I got four more next year, and I'll do four. So I'll pick like
Four.
one time. I have to do two extra. I have to do an
Okay,
extra.
okay. So you're not gonna get free of that anytime soon. You still have that for a year.
Yeah. Well, a year. A year's soon, I guess. In the five, let's think 5 year time. 5 year time.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is you get done with uni 1 year, okay? The next year you don't use that time for work. The time that you get freed from uni, don't use it for work. Use it to learn programming. Meanwhile, you can still automate things with no code solutions. But if you learn to code, you can actually do virtually anything you want. So spend the next year learning basics of coding, like literally just the basics will get you super far. And
Yeah.
then you have the next 3 years and to the future to like automate every workflow that you think is automatable. Um, and yeah, but yeah, maybe by that time you have already been promoted and maybe you don't need it anymore.
Yeah. By then, I'll have been promoted. But still, as a business efficiency perspective, if I make a solution that's better and more efficient for me, it'll be beneficial for everyone. Everyone will become more efficient, you
Yeah.
know? So that's when the whole practice starts rising. But then again, like I still am learning the technical part of financial planning, like actually learning all the strategies and all that kind of stuff. Like,
And that's the other thing. Maybe you're just overloaded and you just need someone else to take over some parts of the things you have assigned.
yeah, pretty much.
So if
Yeah,
you have 50 grand or 60 grand or 100 grand or whatever budget you have for that application that you want to create, maybe it's worth spending a portion of that budget in finding someone that wants to manage that project, for example.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I have to figure this out. I mean, like I've already done some like not automation, but just efficiency pieces that are making the practice better. For example, all of our phone numbers. I'll show you. All the people we contact were on this sheet.
What is that?
This is all like the funds we contact and stuff for information and whatever and
Right.
right. And now I've put all that on like the cloud kind of thing. So like,
Okay.
and it just
What do you
like
mean by that?
so like instead of having this document, like I've got now a phone system. So if we let me sign in, and we had this phone system, we just weren't using the best part of it. I mean, so it is happening. It is happening. Like we are getting more efficient. I think it's just taking more time than I thought it would.
I love how this podcast episode transformed into helping Xavi to improve his efficiency at
Yeah.
his company.
Yeah, it's good. Let's do it. Um, no, but you have given me a really good perspective, and I'm thankful of that. Like, I really do need to lower my expectation and probably be happy with the amount of work that I'm actually doing. Because you're right, I've got no more time in the day. There's no more I can actually do. I can become more efficient with better planning, but that's about it. Like, like I can probably
But
become
also,
smarter. Yeah, but yeah,
don't lower your expectations too much, so they match your results. You always want to keep your expectations a little bit above your results, so you always keep pushing and you're always a little bit uh,
yeah,
not
yeah. You gotta
satisfied.
get
Otherwise, yeah,
yeah. No, for sure. Well, this is the thing, and then
yeah,
essentially what you do is you can make calls to anyone. So I can call Martin, but it doesn't come up. So what I've done is like I've loaded lots of the contacts in here. So let's say if we want to call PPS, these
yeah,
are the direct lines for PPS. If I want to call the Rory, it's just
right,
there.
yeah,
So like instead of having to find numbers and remember all that kind of thing, it's just right here. So you just have to type in what you want. It's just much more. Again, it's just user friendly. It's just easy.
yeah,
Like I
of
don't have
course.
to think anymore. Um, or like find all that stuff. Let's say I do call these guys. I'm calling them. Whatever. Okay, let's not call them. I go this way and I go that. Or actually, no, I can't show this. This is actually sensitive information. Essentially, we can have like our advisor code and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to show because that is a sensitive information. But stop sharing. Yeah.
So
But yeah,
you were
it
saying?
just makes everyone more efficient. Again, just
Oh yeah,
another a little. Yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Martin? How's your work stuff going?
Man, yeah. I think I've had that problem before, and I'm like kind of okay with that now. Like as I said, probably last year I would have kept with my project along also with the sailing course, but I think I learned my lesson, so I didn't this year. I stopped the project and I put it on hold and I'll come back as soon as I finish the sailing course.
Yeah.
And I've been doing great. This Saturday I have the sailing exam, so hopefully I pass.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I can go back to my project, hopefully. Um, but yeah, well, I mean, it's just all about planning, managing expectations, keeping yourself disciplined, and not letting and using motivation when you have it, but ignoring it when you don't have it. I think that's
Yeah.
the key.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um,
So how do you ignore the non-motivation?
yeah, just there are a couple methods. So one is just not allowing myself to think too much.
Yeah.
So I would just literally put a schedule in my like Apple schedule. I would put from this time to this time I'll do this, from this time to this time I'll do this, from this time to this time I'll do that. And by
Yeah.
doing that, I know what I have to do, so it's easier to do it. If I want to procrastinate, I have to take the decision to procrastinate because I know what I have to do. It's not like I have to think what I have to do. Like I know it. I know that this is what I should be doing, and if I choose to procrastinate, it's like I'm almost taking the decision to procrastinate. So that
Yeah.
like helps a little bit.
Mm.
Also, uh, you cannot imagine how much David Goggins is in my head. Like he would just appear randomly and say, "Hey, motherfucker, go go to the gym or whatever." Like he's all the
Yeah.
time. What else?
Do you follow that voice when David Goggins pops in the head?
Oh, a lot of times, yeah.
Mm.
Um, but what else do I have? Yeah, I think that's it. Planning and just being harsh.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay,
Mm.
should we wrap it up?
Okay. Yeah, we can wrap it up. Today's been a very productive day. productive, not necessarily thoughtful or like incredibly, um, uh, philosophical, but good
Yeah.
in the context of our personal lives. So thank you, Martin, for giving me more perspective and showing me more about and showing me a different way I can think about things. I appreciate that. And that's Bro Science for the 20th episode.
I hope you get more efficient.
Okay,
It's sad that Santi wasn't here to celebrate with us, but
true.
21st will be.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Okay,
Bye.
goodbye.